Good morning, everybody. This is Brandon here, and today I'm coming to you with a majority talking video. And today I want to share my experience with daily driving classic cars, because since I've got my license 2.5 years ago, the newest thing that I have had the pleasure to daily drive is this Ram over here, and that is a 2001. And as of now, that is the newest vehicle that I have daily driven. So I haven't featured this truck on my channel that much, but this is my first daily driver is what this truck is. I daily drove it for probably year and a half or so. My dad bought this from one of his friends, and its entire job was towing a funny car. It was a 1978 Trans Am, fiberglass body, you know, not a Trans Am, but fiberglass body with Trans Am. Not sure exactly what was in it, but I know it was a Hemi of some kind, probably like some Brad Anderson, or you know, a crazy supercharged Hemi, ran off alcohol. And this truck, which I'm about to show you, before my dad bought it, and then I got it from my dad, its entire purpose was towing a race car. And that is this 1986 Chevrolet C20. So, this truck we got for $6,000 back in probably 2020, I believe. It's got a 454 big block, turbo 400 transmission, and I believe 14 bolt rear end with it's full floater. I think 14 bolt. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. With 410 gear. So this thing, while it is not mine anymore, this is now my dad's truck, as we worked out a deal after I bought this truck from him. We worked out a deal, and this thing is now his, and that Cummins is now mine. But today, what I have been daily driving, that 1990 Fox body Mustang. The injector harness went out last night as I was driving home, and it misfires, and it misfires badly. This thing needs a carrier bearing, and you know, need to change the oil in the engine and the transmission, and it needs an alignment very badly. And now let's go over here. My blue Mustang, my 1991 heads cam intake, 5-liter. Took it on the very first drive last night, and it is fixed. It is right. This thing is ready to go. So this car, very soon, there's gonna be a full video on my channel driving it, and hopefully all the bugs are worked out. But I'm very happy, as this is my first, this car is my car, and it is my first kind of taste of putting a motor together, putting a top end together on an engine, and assembling everything, doing brakes, rear disc brake conversion in the rear. So a lot of learning on this car, which is okay, but it seems to be doing good. That truck was bought for me. That truck is a 1996 F-150 with a heads cam intake 351 Windsor. It's carbureted, and I daily drove that for about 8 months, and we're now trying to get rid of it, as the only way I can afford to pay back that gray Fox body is if that thing goes. So we haven't sold it yet. We took it to Charlotte, nobody bought it, but that was my daily driver for a while, and that thing just started up fine and drove everywhere. I've taken that thing, you know, down Outer Banks, taking that square body back there that I was just talking to. I've road tripped that thing 4 hours away. I've towed with it, and it just runs flawlessly. So enough of all this, and I'm gonna get to driving it and talking more about my experience with only driving older cars for as daily drivers, as the only new things we have here are my dad's 2023 Challenger, a Toyota Tundra, and a Toyota 4Runner, and those are the only new vehicles we have. And also here, I know I was going to put out a video of this Dart, my car, my first car actually. It's 344 speed 72 Dodge Dart, racing that Challenger. That is still coming, but I'm holding off on that as there's a couple other video ideas I want to get out of the way first. And plus, I don't really drive this thing all that often. I really should, and I will soon. But anyway, enough of that. I gotta get to work. So while everything else is down, this is the most reasonable thing to take. So let's go to work. So I tell you all what, it is actually very nice to drive this truck after quite a while of not driving it. I really forget just the simplicity of square body Chevys, and especially this one, as it's a pretty rare option truck. But you know what? I mean, to me, something about the interior on these things, really. I mean, there isn't a whole lot going on with these trucks, but they're just so classy in a way, I guess you could say. But anyway, so I want to get to my main topic here. And bear with me, I haven't driven this truck in quite a while, so I kind of have to get used to how it drives again. But my main topic here for this video is daily driving classic cars in the year 2025. First off, I want to say I think it's one of the most economical things you can do, and also teaches you a lot, because, you know, just about everything, even 15 years old and older, they're going to have issues, whether it be electrical problems, whether it be mechanical problems, whether it be just a need to constantly maintain things. Everything older is going to have issues, and everything older is going to be a little bit more demanding to keep on the road. And some things more than others, like Fox body Mustangs, for example. All the ones I've ever been around are plagued with electrical issues. My buddy Jason's got a 1990, and I don't understand it, but that thing just, it won't run with the mass air meter plugged in, which is odd. It runs much better with the mass air meter unplugged than, you know, how it does run, how it runs when the mass air is plugged in. The injector harness on my gray car just went out. So, you know, some things, especially those early fuel injected cars, they're always going to have some electrical issue when you're talking about 30-year-old wiring harnesses and just, you know, the technology that was available at that time. And I know from experience, Chevys are pretty bad about that. I had a 1989 Firebird with the throttle body injection, and that thing was a piece of junk. I'm not saying that all of them are. I'm just saying my experience with one, it just turned me off. But let's get on topic of this truck here. This was my very first daily driver. I drove this thing everywhere. I mean, it got me to and from school, to and from work, to and from, I'd go 4 hours away out to a place called Buena Vista, Virginia, kind of close to Farmville, that area. Take to the Outer Banks all the time, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours to the south. And it doesn't really care. Now, especially a lot of these older cars, let's say pre-fuel injection, this is an 86, the last year for trucks with carburetor. Especially the, trucks and bigger body cars with small economical V8s, or even the economy cars with 6 cylinders. They were just made to kind of cruise in between 45 and 60 mile an hour and be happy doing it all day long. So, what I was saying, a lot of those older cars too, they're designed, they ride happily, not on interstate speeds. Like, I know this truck doing 70 mile an hour is absolutely screaming. The 410 gears, the 3-speed automatic, I don't know what RPM it's revving at because it doesn't have a tach, but I would probably assume 38 to 4 grand at 70 miles an hour. That's not very good for an extended period of time. So every time I'd road trip this thing, I'd take smaller highways. I wouldn't take interstates. And where I live, out in these back roads, you really don't notice it, especially if you're just driving local. But it seems like these vehicles were made with one thing in mind, and that was longevity. Nearly, whether it be a Chevy, a Ford, a Chrysler, any product from the big three, it seems like they were just built to where they wouldn't stop running. All you had to do was maintain them. Change the oil, change your spark plugs. On cars with points distributors, you have to sand your points sometimes. Change spark plug wires, change transmission filter, change the transmission fluid, and just keep it in check. Whatever breaks, fix it. And it's usually not a very hard or expensive fix. And they just keep going. They're designed to just run and be a reliable mode of transportation. Or in these trucks nowadays, it's like they're an SUV or a family vehicle with a big, power stroke diesel V8 and a really short bed. Whereas trucks from this era, they're rugged. They don't have a whole lot of comforts to them. I mean, this truck, yes, it has AC, it has power steering, which, if you know 1980s GM power steering, it is just pinky. Just super, super easy to steer. And for a truck, I guess it helps that it's a two-wheel drive truck. This thing feels like a Cadillac. It rides, like a boat. It really does. And I can't speak for other trucks at the time, but I know this one, it almost feels like a Cadillac with a bed. Especially being a four-door too. I mean, you can fit 6, 7 people in here comfortably. I mean, bench seats, front and rear. It's a very comfortable thing to drive. And let me get back to this topic now of daily driving classics. Because I on tangents and have to kind of reroute myself back to what the focus topic is. So, daily driving classic vehicles. Like I said, this is my first daily driver, and all I've ever had to do with it is change the oil. It had a bad exhaust leak, so I had to take the exhaust manifold off, take it to the machine shop. They had to weld it, and then mill it, and then you change the exhaust gas and put it back on. It doesn't do it anymore. Other than that, this thing really is just maintenance, and whatever broke or whatever wasn't right, you just fix it, and it keeps going. Now, after this truck, I was daily driving that F-150, which sadly did not sell. I love the truck, I really do. It's a really clean truck, and that's not so much in the classic territory as it is. I mean, yes, it is a classic car, but it is not a classic car in the sense of being 40 to 50 years old. It is 29 years old. And, you know, that thing, it's actually very comfortable to drive. Power steering's nice. It still had AC, and for being as modified as it was, it still had a lot of comforts. So that thing, again, all I did was change the oil in it, and it just kept running. That Cummins. I don't even think that really classifies as a classic, which it doesn't, because I can't even put antique tags on it yet. But still, it's a 24-year-old truck, and the only thing, well, there actually is a couple things wrong with that truck. One, the transfer case. When you're driving, sometimes if you let off the gas or brake too hard, it slips from too high and it slips itself into neutral and makes a grinding noise. That's not right, but it happens very rarely. Four-wheel drive still works. It death wobbles now. That never happened before. You hit a bump the wrong way, going above 60 miles an hour, and it's violent. So I need to figure out what's doing that, and I need to fix that. The injectors went out well before I could drive, like 2017 or something. Back when my dad still had it, right after he bought it from my grandpa, because that Cummins is a one family vehicle. It's passed down. Grandpa bought a new truck. My dad bought that from him. My dad bought a new truck, and it's down to me now. So I was daily driving that. Right now I have to figure out the death wobble issue, change the carrier bearing, and that's really about it. Of course, that gray car, that gray Fox body, like I just said, and the injector harness went out, which, you know, what is that, 1990? Was that 35-year-old, just 35-year-old wiring harness? You're going to have issues like that, and it's okay. I mean, it's not rocket science. Those early fuel-injected cars, that's the thing with cars nowadays. It's like you have to be a software designer, or like you have to be some computer scientist really to tune them. Like, you know, you load a program onto the computer in the car from another computer. Whereas those old EFI cars, they really weren't like that at all. But they still have issues. So, yeah, I guess moral of the story, I'm going to wrap it up. In my opinion, driving a classic car every single day saying classic, like let's say 1960 to 2000. I think it's a very, very good way to learn about cars and maintenance. And I think it is very economical. Insurance is very cheap. If you use Haggerty classic car insurance, it is very, very cheap. So, you know, I like it. It really feels like you save money, and it really feels like you're keeping a piece of American history alive too. And another thing I just love, especially, you know, when I see square bodies or OBS trucks like on the road pulling a lawn care trailer or just still working, that's cool to me, because those trucks were built, you know, obviously 30, 40 years ago, and you can still see them working themselves to death out on the road. And I find that says something. Now, I'm not saying that newer trucks won't do that in 25, 30 years from now, because they probably will. But it's just, it's so cool seeing older trucks out there still putting in work and still making money for people, while being relatively easy to maintain and simple to fix. Merging on the highway too, it is actually not that bad when you have a very torquey big block and a very low rear end gear. This thing does actually have some get up and go when you press that pedal down. Just a big block. So yeah, anyway, I just kind of wanted to ramble on a little bit and talk about what it's like just to daily drive a classic car. And yeah, hear that whistling? Vent windows, awesome. I don't think they leak, but they nearly all have wind noise on the highway. But whatever, adds character. Stuff you gotta deal with. Right now, I'm doing 60 mile an hour right now, and as happy as it can ever be. Just keep going. So anyway, yes, thank you guys for watching. Just wanted to put out a little video because an idea popped in my head. You know, why not talk about all the things I've ever daily driven, and have I ever really had any problems so far daily driving old vehicles? And the answer to that is no. Nothing, especially this truck, when I had it and was daily driving it, never once let me down. I don't know if there's wood in here. I don't think there's wood in here, so I can't knock on me. But I don't think I need to. I've never found myself, I did find myself on the side of the road one time. That was in my 72 Dart. Inside the distributor, you got those little counterweights that control your timing advance. They're controlled by springs, so at a certain RPM, like while it's spinning, they'll open up the springs. It's like a mechanical timing advance in your distributor. One of those strings popped out and messed the timing all up. The car wouldn't start, cut off on me. But that was a super, super simple fix. And, you know, 3 hours later, same day, the car was driving down the road again, and it was running better because by it braking made me address an issue that I didn't exactly know it had. But yeah, I mean, these old classic cars, these older cars, older trucks, do your maintenance, keep them in good shape, you treat them well, and they treat you very well. Because they're from a time where reliability meant something in America. They're from a time where you could go buy a brand new car. Cool Lightning. 04 Lightning, or whatever just went by. But anyway, let me get back on topic. These things are from a time where you could go to a dealership and you can find a carbureted V8, simple, just bare bones, much really to them. They're just meant to be tuned up, meant to be maintained, and they're meant to just be reliable and do their job efficiently, which I think is something, especially now with new car manufacturers, with engineered premature failure. Man, that is not something that these things do. Yes, stuff fails. But when stuff fails, it's not designed so stupidly that where you take it to a dealership, oh, that alternator replacement's gonna be $800. What? No. It's right there in front of the motor. Your alternator goes out, go to AutoZone. Your water pump on your 2018 Mini Cooper went out. That'll be $3,000. Not with these things. So, anyway, yeah, just wanted to yap a little bit, kind of talk. I'll do more of these videos if you guys like them. If you guys want me to cover any other topics, I will. There's a lot of things that go through my mind every day. I do want to talk about modern muscle, like new Challengers, modern Hemis, modern Camaros, modern Mustangs, stuff like that. I do want to make a video talking about that, and I especially want to make a video on the direction that the Chrysler Corporation is going now with their EV chargers. What the hell, man? What were they thinking with that? Which, you know, I know is higher ups, big wigs at Stellantis or Fiat forcing them to go that direction, but still, there's a lot of topics like that I want to talk about when I'm not making, you know, actual driving content, or if I'm not working on stuff content, or putting out my usual content. I do like making long-winded, just talking videos. So if you guys have any other topics or anything you'd like me to talk about, I'm always willing to learn new things about these old cars, new cars, whatever it may be. And you know, I always love a good conversation. I love you know, sharing my opinions online